Guys, it's just Christina. I wanted to pop on today to talk to you a little bit about the writing workshops we're going to be hosting this week. I want to just kind of give you a brief intro into first where to find the sign up to these workshops, as well as kind of a little bit of information about how the workshops are going to be run and the different kinds of workshops that we're hosting. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is your guys' home page for Composition 102. And so right now we're down in Module 4, Writing Mentor Feedback Class Section 1. You can click on this link here and it'll bring you to our writing workshop page. So there's instructions at the top and then the guidelines to kind of help you know what you need to give us, just some information about the workshops themselves. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on this Project 1 pre-workshop form. You can open that once it's downloaded. And in this document here, it'll just kind of ask you some questions about your project, some different questions you might have, different areas you want us to focus on, and they're kind of grouped together. So the audience, what do you want us to kind of help you with when looking at your audience? Same with content, organization, all those kinds of different things. So be sure to fill this out. Check any of these that you want us to look at. You can check multiple boxes. Fill out your name and your ASU email as well. That'll just kind of give us an idea of what we need to look out for when we're going through your project. So then you can scroll down and see the different dates and times for the workshops. It's pretty self-explanatory. It'll tell you the workshop number, the day, the time, which writing mentor is holding the workshop, and then it'll also tell you the type of workshop that we will be hosting. It'll then proceed to tell you the information you need to provide us, your email, which is in that document I just showed you. Make sure to attach your rough draft with your multimodal analysis, attach the self-assessment form that we talked about. Any specific questions that you might have about your draft, you can type that in the response like I'll show you here in a minute, or you can try and include it on that document. Either way works, just anything else you want us to kind of keep an eye out for, and then which workshop you chose. So then it'll also tell you at the bottom here that the time that you should respond by. If you're late to responding to this time, don't worry about it, but just be aware that if you do submit your draft late, it may not get as good of a response and as much feedback as if you would submit it by this time. So what you do is you just click reply, and then here you'll go and you'll type in your name, your project, attach your rough draft here, any questions you might have, your email, all that information above, you just type in here and then you'll click post reply. So some people are already signing up and you can kind of see how they're doing it. They're including their email, their rough drafts, multimodal, the pre-workshop questions, anything like that. So there's a few different workshop times available. So you just scroll down to whichever one you want, then you'll click reply on the one that you want to choose. We are also holding this session some asynchronous workshops. So the difference between these is the ones that I have up above here, you can see they're synchronous and it says Zoom meeting. So I'll get to that in a little bit, kind of explaining what that will be like. But for these asynchronous workshops, they're going to be a little bit different. So what you do, and it's kind of explained all in here too, is you will send your rough draft to us the same way that you would before. You can just attach it right in here, go to reply, attach everything in there that you need. But instead of going onto an actual program like Zoom where we would have a conference, we will just record some feedback for you and then email that to you instead. So for example, you could just type in here your rough draft, your email, all those kinds of things. So then what we would do as your writing mentors is once we finish your draft, we will record ourselves kind of like I'm doing now using Zoom or Screencast-O-Matic, one of those kinds of programs, and we'll just give you your feedback in that kind of a form. And then with the email that you provide us, we'll send you that video and that link to you so that you can view that feedback. You are also more than welcome if you want to record yourself talking about the questions that you have and incorporating that in here or emailing that to us. That is 100% okay as well, whatever works best for you. So that's kind of how that would work. So there's a few different kinds of workshop times, different kinds of workshops. We're doing the Zoom and we're doing the asynchronous. So this is where you would go to find that. It's in the module 4. I also created an announcement, and it should be right in there as well. If you go to my writing workshops announcement, I kind of talk about it here, and then I give you the direct link to that discussion. So that'll bring you right there. So now I'm just going to kind of talk to you about what you can expect in one of our Zoom meetings. So when you send us your rough drafts, every mentor kind of does it differently, but this is how I choose to do it. When you send me a rough draft, I like to open it in a Word document or some kind of form like that. And I like to go through and leave different comments on the sides. I think it's a good visual, kind of a good way to lead the workshop once we get into it, that I can draw attention to these points. And it's just this way, it's easier for you to kind of see where I'm going to. So we'll open up your draft once everybody joins the meeting. We'll just kind of have a brief introduction. Video cams can be on or off. You do not have to have your camera on. If you're more comfortable just having it off, that's totally okay. So we'll just kind of do a brief introduction. I might kind of go over a few things, you know, touch up on the requirements, talk about multimodal analysis or, you know, sources or just something like that. I like to kind of give just a brief introduction on some of those key things. So then we'll just dive right into the workshop. So we'll take turns. If there's more than one person in the workshop, we'll just open up somebody's paper and then we'll just kind of ask the person to describe it in their own words. That's what I like to do. So whoever, you know, if somebody else didn't get a chance to read this person's paper, or, you know, we don't have a whole lot of knowledge, then the author of the paper can kind of give us a little insight into their topic. So then I will proceed to go through and I'll point out these different areas. You know, sometimes I just comment as simple things like audience. Okay, I can definitely see who your audience is. I know it's a good audience. It's targeted, you know, so I know what kind of paper to expect from here. So then we'll just scroll on through. I'll go through and I'll comment on different things. I'll ask questions. If you have more than one person in the workshop, I like to ask for some participation between the other people there and ask for their thoughts. I like to create a discussion kind of going. So yeah, we'll just kind of go through the whole thing, you know, talk about all those things that were on that document, the audience, the content, the sources, the multimodal part of it. So, you know, if you have any graphs, any pictures, you know, we'll just go through all those kinds of things, the references, your multimodal analysis, which I don't have on this one. But yeah, we just kind of go through and we take our time and just, it's a time for you to ask questions for me, time for me to give you feedback and your peers to give you feedback. So it's very relaxed, very just kind of chill. You just go ahead and express any concerns you have. It just gives you kind of another chance to have another set of eyes, look at your paper, at your project, and, you know, just kind of get any last minute questions or concerns you might have out of the way before you have to worry about submitting it later on. So that's just kind of the basis of how it works. That's how I run my workshops. Once we finish the workshop, we go through everybody's paper. We take a certain amount of time and go through everybody's work. And then once I finish, you will get emailed this yourself. I'll email this document to you with all of the comments on the side so you guys have access to it. You can go through, you can choose to pick out which ones you want to look at, which ones you want to work on, any of those kinds of things. So that's how this would kind of work. So yeah, I just kind of figured I would give you guys a chance to look at, stop sharing my screen, just a chance to kind of give you an idea of what the workshops are going to be like. We've already had quite a few people sign up for them. I really encourage you guys to try at least one workshop throughout the course of the session. We do workshops when the big projects are due. So we'll be hosting workshops this week, and then we won't be hosting anymore until we get to project 2 later on in the semester. So, you know, even if you're feeling pretty confident, you know, you think you got a good handle on this assignment, it never hurts to have another set of eyes look at it, or even just give your peers some feedback, because it's very important to do that as well. It teaches you how to give good feedback, and then it helps you kind of recognize some areas that maybe you need to work on as well. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the workshops, how to sign up, if you guys really do want to have us look at them, but you can't fit your time into the workshops that we are hosting, please reach out and we can try and work around anything. If you're working or you have kids or, whatever, just let us know. And if we have time and we can fit it into our schedules, we'll throw in an extra workshop for you. And yeah, so just please reach out with any questions. Thanks, guys.